y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the tireless tangler, and you've arrived at day 92 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. Our tangle for today is going to be Lolo. It is a heart-based tangle by Hsin-Ya Hsu. And maybe someday I'll be able to say that correctly. And it is fun and lots of embellishing possibilities, so let's get started. This is what it looks like. There are two versions. I'm going to show you how to draw each one of them, and then we'll move on to the tile. All right, let's get going. All right, there are two ways to draw Lolo, and the first way has to do with a center spine or line, as Linda Farmer called it in her article, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to line half hearts on each side of these lines, okay? So let me show you. Okay, one half heart right on the line. And then at the end here, you want to switch sides. All right. The larger you make these, the more room for embellishing you're going to have. I have got a very happy dog right now. Mari is the only one that knows how to play with him right. He gets very frustrated with everyone else. All right. Okay, so the next step to this is to add a nice aura line or an echo line around this. We're going to start and stop on the same line as this line, okay, but give it a little bit more room, make it a little bigger, so that's an echo line. And then bring it back in, just like that, okay? Start on the line, go out a little further, and then bring it back in. On the line, out a little further, bring it back, just like this. Okay. Now on her step out on Tangle Patterns, she has a ton of ideas for embellishing. Let me see if I can remember a few of those. I think one, she does radiating lines out like this. That's a pretty effective thing. I think there's one where she brings this middle part in and makes a little spiral out of it, which is also very pretty. And you could do something to this, like stripe it. You're going to do that. Just follow your lines. Get your curve in your head. And tell them to behave. Just put a slight curve. You should be good to go. Okay, also cute. She has a version, but on the other one with orbs in this aura. She has a cute one where she puts little half circle petal shaped things all the way down. Also very cute, and you could still do something else in there. What else did she have? She had these little lines with these little dots or orbs, and that was all the way down. Also a very cute lacy look. And I suppose if you wanted to, you could connect them and do something fun like that. Of course, it depends on how even you got them, whether it'll work. Okay, something fun like that. I don't know. Let's see, what else did she have? I think those were the main ones that she had on there. Like I said, you can also orb these. You can do them like perk, or you can just tipple it side to side, whatever you like to do. Okay, so this is Lolo with the center line. All right, now let's try Lolo without a center line and see how we do. Okay, My caution on this one is we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to leave out the line, okay? So you kind of have to imagine. And when you bring your heart in, you're always going to want your tip to be the same spot as your downstroke at the top, if that makes sense. Okay, so now switch sides and draw one on the other side. And try to end vaguely in the middle. And then do again. Okay, I think this is where I ran into problems earlier. But okay, like this. Then you're going to want that aura, and you can make this aura large. You can make it small and thin. Okay. Once again, the bigger the aura, the more area you have for embellishing. But if that's not your thing, it's cool. All right. And so now you could stripe this. I think she has an example of that in her step out art. This was pretty effective. Just roll with it. Or she had orbs, definitely. Trying to remember what else she had. So at this point, it'd be a great idea for you guys to go to Tangle Patterns and look at those yourselves, because my poor brain only has so much in it. Okay, so this is Lolo without the center line. And I think there's a lot to be said for both of them. I think they're both really effective and easy to embellish. So let's start our tile and see where we end up. Okay, so I created an Inktense tile for this video. And let's get our heart tangle on here. Let's draw in Lolo. But now I lost my PN. Typical. Here's one. All right. Okay, so for this tile, I've been thinking about it, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything good. But what I think I'd like, well, I'm trying to decide, guys. I think I want to put both versions on here, okay? So what I think I'm going to do is put a larger Lolo without the center string diagonally down the center here, and then maybe put 2 or 3 strings with different things off to the sides. Let's see how it goes. I make no promises about these. These are always just as big a surprise to me as they are to you. So let's find out. I'm going to use a nice largish half heart here. I'm going to go slow. Try to keep my curves really nice and pleasing. I think I'm a little off center here, but I think I'll do one more. That's okay. It's organic. That's what we do. All right, so now I think for me, I'm going to turn this upside down as I draw my aura. I think I'll get a better stroke, but we'll see. And I'm going to put my little spiral in there because I think it's pretty. And then I'm going to do this one. Like that. I think I got a much more consistent result doing it this way. Of course, you guys may do it however you wish. Now, what feels good for this one? Okay. That's not quite as clean as the other ones, but that's okay. For some reason, I just didn't feel I could pull as nicely that direction. Of course, that could just be in my head. You know me. Okay, so what do I want to embellish this with? Well, I'm a big fan of the orbs, as we all know. I like the striping as well. I think that will be really effective. I'm wondering about some of the prettier little petally things. And I think what I'm going to do for this large one is put the little petal shapes all the way up around. So let's see if I can do that without making too large a mess. Let's start down here. I'm just doing these little scalloped edges here. They're just little half circles. Or, you know, if you're a tangler, they're little crescent moon beginnings. And if you're not, welcome. All right, let's do this one. Those are really simple to draw in, but they're very pretty and frilly. So those of us who are female in the bunch will probably enjoy those. Okay. Take your time. Remember to breathe, guys. It's silly that we have to be reminded to do it, but I know I have to be reminded. So, and many of you have thanked me for the reminder to breathe. Breathe, guys, breathe. It makes everything better when you breathe and take deep belly breaths. The kind of breaths that move your stomach in and out and not just your chest. If you are taking breaths and seeing your chest rise, that's probably okay. But if you don't see your belly moving while you breathe, then you're not doing it right. When you breathe, instead of imagining your lungs expanding, imagine your stomach pushing out. That makes a big difference. If you can push your stomach out while you take in a breath, that is perfect. That means that your diaphragm muscle is pushing down on your stomach to expand your rib cage and give your lungs more room to expand. Yeah? Okay, so this is nice enough, but it still needs something. I'm considering the orbs. I think for now, I'm just going to leave this for a minute. And I'm going to draw in some of my smaller lined elements. Let's see. How can I make this pleasing and not overpowering? Well, let's start from here. And make it like a little leaf line. And I'm going to draw my hearts in opposite this time. If this way confuses you, do not do it. I'm not convinced it won't confuse me at some point. There we go. All right, now I'm going to add my auras, or echo lines more correctly. Remember, at least for me, the difference between an aura line and an echo line is that an echo line starts and stops on the same line as the line that you are Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, Simba. Good singing. Good singing. Okay, okay, Mommy's working. Arr. All right, well, we had to stop and have a howl break. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think on this one, and I really like that coming out as another sort of shoot there, I'm going to put these little hatch lines, radiating hatch lines from here out. And I'm going to let them be nice and dense. Definitely letting my wiggles out today. Been out in the heat and that makes me crazy. I guess the weather in Holland in the Netherlands is pretty good right now. They've been getting some rain. I guess tulip season is past, isn't it? Or we haven't gotten there yet. I think they bloom in the spring, right? I was watching a movie about somebody from the Netherlands the other day, and the way they portray them is always, they're so nice. Everybody's so nice there. It's almost like Canadians. I wonder why they never do that for Americans. Wonder why. No, I don't. I know why. Okay, so that one is just going to pretend he's going in there. It's going to be smaller. Again, you guys set yours up the way you want. This is mine. And I can do what I want, and you may do what you want. There is no right or wrong here. There is only art, and only you, and fun. And what a wonderful thing that is. In these times of uncertainty. Went and got our hair cut today. Yay.
Like the haircut.
He might not like it, but he is so handsome right now. Oh my goodness. My little boy.
Sucks.
Why, baby?
Because it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I like my hair the way it is.
I like it the way it is too, bud. Mm-hmm.
Not like now.
Not like now. All right, so I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to do this little thing. I think that's so cute. And it's really effective. Just a little straight line. They're like a little eye. Just a straight line with a dot on top. You could black them. You could leave them open. They're so small, they may not matter. Okay. I'll remind myself and you right now, no rush. Okay. These are rather small. That presents some issues for me, but most things do. It's how I choose to deal with my issues, isn't it, guys? Today, I choose to be happy. I am counting my blessings. I am numbering the things that I am grateful for. When I say counting my blessings, that's what I mean. And I don't say things like that because I think you guys aren't smart. I say things like that because we have an international audience, and when I use what I call colloquialisms, meaning slang from my area, that can be confusing to people that speak English as a second language. So I try to, when I use words like that, then or phrases like that, then I try to make sure that I have explained them. Because the bottom line is I like to use colorful phrases and words that describe the situation just perfectly. That's part of my fun. I have a lot of fun with languages. So I love using English in the best way I can. It's not that my grammar is always correct, because it's not. But I do care about grammar, so it's the old lady in me, I think. All right, so I love this so far. I still haven't decided what I'm going to put in here, but I'm sort of leaning towards striping these. I think that would be a really effective way to bring some drama to this. I'm considering finishing these off with something else in addition to what I've got here. And on this one, I'm trying to decide if I should do something in the center or along the R line, or just leave them, okay? So that's sort of where my thought process is. But before I get going very far with this, I'm gonna put another little tendril coming out from here. Just sort of stick it up there. One of the things I like about the version that uses the line is that once I've drawn the line, I don't have to worry about where I'm going. And with the freehand method, or you know what I mean, on this method without the line, it's easy to get those off center or not looking the way you want. So just something to think about. But there are different possibilities with this that you don't get with these. I do recommend you practice this in your sketch pad or journal or whatever you use to practice. Scratch paper. And draw it until you feel really comfortable with it. That's not exactly what I meant to do, but okay. Let's see. Yep. There we go. Okay. Mari and I went to eat breakfast this morning, and I swear he ate twice what I ate. Finished it all, and I had to take part of mine home with me. And 2 hours later, when we got home, he was ready to eat again. He's still eating. He's at that age where the boys eat constantly.
Cindy eats constantly.
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I? Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. Actually, mostly I don't eat. When he's not here to need meals all the time, I tend to just skip them, which is very bad for me because I'm diabetic. But okay, so these are fun. Still trying to make a decision about these over here. I feel like they need something in the center. Now I could black the center, or I could use a different colored pen to ink in there, or I could come in with my colored pencil and do something. So I'm still on the fence with that. But while I'm thinking, I'm going to go ahead and stripe these and see how that looks. Okay, so when I stripe something that is curvy, like this is, and what I'm wanting to do here is give it a rounded look, I start with little C shapes, like this. Okay, then I turn my tile and I keep drawing in C shapes. Whoops. Okay, turning my tile. Just change the tile and draw with the direction that you're pointing. These don't have to be perfect. So once again, I'm going to start up at the tip. I'm going to keep turning my tile so that I have an even stroke. I want to apologize to some of you. I was in YouTube Studio where you do your videos, and I noticed that there were a bunch of comments being held for approval, and it's supposed to be a spam filter. One of the things that you guys do in comments that gets your comments held for approval, and I didn't know that this was happening, or I wouldn't have had it happening. But one of the things that you do that will get your comment held is to put a hashtag or a website address or web address in there. And so what that does is it stops other creators from coming to your channel and leaving their hashtag there, or leaving a link to a video there that draws you away from the channel that you're on. So not that you can't do that, but they don't want to artificially influence people like that, because the YouTube algorithm is good at figuring out what people want to watch. At least for me it is. And now that I am monetized, then I get a lot of smaller creators that come and leave, ask me to subscribe and things like that. And what I've learned is that you don't want people to subscribe for that reason. You want subscribers that are actually interested in your content and actually want to watch it. Which is why I'm so amazed that you guys show up every day. Amazed and appreciative. Okay. So now that I've made this busier, I'm going to black this so it'll calm it down a little bit and add some drama, I hope. Okay. By the way, I've been meaning to mention this, and I don't know if I can demonstrate it for you right now, but there is a different way to sparkle these. There are two kinds of sparkles. One is the more organic type, which is the type that I like to use with the little hatch lines that come in, right? But there is another way to sparkle. That is more of a photoreal type of a sparkle. Let's see if I can get one of these wider spots and then show you and then fix it. so it's not like that. The more photoreal has a sharp edge on it. Sort of like that. So you would square off your edges. Oops, sorry. Like this. And it still works, but it's just not as organic, so I tend to not use that version, but if you want to, you may. Okay. So I like where this is going. This definitely brings out the middle section and makes it more interesting. So let's finish striping, see where we're at. And it can be really hard to do in these tiny spaces. And sometimes if you just leave a hint, that usually is enough. Well, even Simba thinks it's hot today. Can you hear him over there panting? Me too, Sim, me too. It's got to be in the 90s today, close to 100 probably. The humidity is pretty high here today, so it's what I call stinking hot. Stinking hot. I know some of you really relate to that. Where you live is stinking hot. We just had to get out. We had to go shopping this morning, get our hair cut, have breakfast. It was good to get out of the house, but I don't like it. I was supposed to try to do physical therapy this morning, but we had another appointment to do, so tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. I hope this doesn't get a copyright claim. You know, when you can't even hum songs in your videos, there's something wrong with the world. Just saying. Okay, wow. That really perked that center section up a lot, didn't it? Let's see if I can get this with a better light. Okay. Now, as far as adding anything else, I don't know yet. I'm still considering this and this over here for something extra. This sort of looks like a cactus to me, so we could put little pointy things coming out. That might be interesting. I don't know. I am going to wait and do some shading and see if something else occurs to me. All right, so I'm going to get my black Verithin. So on these for shading, there's you know, a couple of things you can do. Shading at the base where your lines come together. Okay. And you could conceivably shade all the way in here if you wanted to. Again, this is your art, and you may do as you wish. Just where the lines converge is a natural shading spot. And if you have a colored background, you definitely want to get some shading done. Okay. Okay, so now I also want to shade here where they overlap. Okay, so this one where I have the wider auras and have striped it, I'm going to shade on the inside track of each of these hearts, or half hearts. Sort of accentuate the look of the curve. Yeah. And then on these, on the outside part, I'm going to shade on the petals themselves, but not on the central element, not on the striped part. This accentuates the roundness of the middle section, the striped part. And we've made that 3D by treating it in this way, or at least a little bit. Okay. So let's do that on all of these. And the reason that I chose to do the inside track instead of the outside track as far as the shading goes is because of the curve inwards. And that's going to be a natural place to shade. But that does make a big difference, doesn't it? I don't know how well you can tell with the grayed out color, but I really do like this pencil sharpener. right, now decision time. Well, let's blend this first, because I still don't know what I want to do. Oops, I forgot a spot here. Once again, when you scrub across areas where you have inked previously, just be gentle, because you can easily pull up the tooth of your paper by doing that. It's almost like spines on the back of a dragon, isn't it? Now I will come back with my little tiny eraser and bring back the tips of these, or I may bring a maybe a green Verithin, Prismacolor Verithin, it's a green colored pencil, and come along and do these spines, these little petal shapes in a different color. That's a possibility too. These. I still do not know what I'm going to do here. So, I'm going to take a break, think about it, and I'll be right back. So I am testing out my peacock green on these, and I haven't quite decided yet whether I want to leave that or not. I had considered putting it on this part here. I'll try this one. I should be able to lift it out with an eraser. And if I did this, then I could sparkle those tops. And I actually like this better than I do this. So I do like that, although I still feel like it needs something in the middle. So I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to do this over here and see where I'm at. That didn't work out very well, did it? Huh. I think I can bring my white Prismacolor in here and sort of brighten up the tops of those. We're about to find out. I do like this result. I think the little highlight at the top of these makes a big difference. Instead of just making it all matte. Add a little bit more dimensionality to these. Okay, I like those, and so I think I'm gonna bring this in here and do the same thing. I still haven't quite decided if I'm going to top it with something. Right, almost done. And I'm just putting this highlight at the very top. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think that looks good. I think once I get my white Prismacolor on the tops of those, it'll brighten it right up. And I'm really going to like the results, I think. I think I like that spring green a little bit better. There, I am liking it. Where's my pen? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do in here is this. It'll sort of match the outside. And do something about that blank center. Yeah, I like that much better. All right, now put this over here. I might just like it the way it is. I think for now I'm going to leave this. And I think I'm going to add my chop in right here. We'll do it right here. This is why I should not draw my chop upside down. It never works out for me. But we're going to do it. And make this an orb. There you go. All right, guys, except for cleaning up and maybe adding a few more things here and there, this is where I'm going to leave you today. I hope you have enjoyed this. I have something really fun for tomorrow. I hope you will be back to join us then. And I wish you a happy day today. Keep your chins up. Choose to be happy. I love you guys. Much love and greetings from Oklahoma. And I'm going to see you tomorrow.